Good afternoon, everyone. Jason here. Today is November 6th, and this is your aftermarket update. All I could say is finally. Finally, we had the oil market that we have been accustomed to over the years. We actually had a legitimate move today. If you look here in the bottom left-hand corner of this screen here on this chart, you can see that the average 10-day average range was 104 ticks. It was 102 on the 20-day range. So again, very narrow ranges. Today was 196 ticks. When you have a range expanding market like we did today, it allows our trading philosophy to really shine. So over the course of the past 10 days, I detailed out for you our first 2 weeks of our TopstepTrader Combine. And while the results weren't that great, we were able to really keep the losing under control and wait for our opportunity to occur. And today was that day where we got that opportunity. We were able to erase 2 weeks worth of trading in a single trade today. And that really is the core of our philosophy. We talk about cutting the losers short and letting the winners run. I'm going to let you watch today's trade of the day video here in just a moment. It was an hour and a half long, so I've cut it down to where I can let you see where we get in, and then I cut down different chunks of the tape and speed it up. You don't have to watch the entire hour and a half. It's about a 3.5 minute cut down version with a little bit of music behind it. But the point of it is I want you to see just how we were able to get into the market, how we managed the trade a little bit, speed it up, and let you see some of that. So first, let's talk here about why we got in where we got into today. So one of the things that we talk about with our market maker levels is we have a saying in here that we talk about quite a bit. It's called kick the signal and pay the target. So I'm going to bring this out for you here today. And our daily structure signal down here was at 74. And so once we could not get down underneath this daily structure signal to the target underneath it, kick the signal, pay the target, we were looking for at least a target here at 56.47. So when I show you the tape, one of the things you're going to hear me say is once I get into the trade and our initial entry was 55.93, you're going to hear me talk about the target being 56.47. However, one of the things that we always talk about as we get into the trade is that depending on the speed of the tape and how aggressively the moves are at the time that we're in, we may take that and move those stops back, not the stops, but the targets back to next logical places on our chart. In fact, today we were looking at this 56.47, but again, the market was moving aggressively. We talked about a potential target. I'm going to turn these on up here at 57.12. We were talking about a target at 57.12. And if you were in the trading room today, you recall that we were talking about that 57.12 level. We made this high. We came back here down to 72 and then eventually rallied on up into that target. I get taken out ultimately at 84. My entry was 93. I get taken out at 84 for 94 ticks per contract, actually, is what it ended up being. So we ended up a little bit better than, what is that, 92 contracts times, let's see, we said 93, 55, 93, and we got to 56.84. Ends up being 91 ticks per contract for 182 tick CL trade of the day. So let's talk about how and why we got in here. And so one of the things that we talk about all the time again is that we talk about kick the signal, pay the target. Once we got here, and we talked about this in the room today, just how difficult it was for the market to close down underneath this 74. We made a triple bottom on this 3 minute at the low, and then we began to rally. So one of the things that caused me to get in is when we broke, you can see here that we had a triple top right here at 90, and eventually we came up into this 93 level, and this is actually where we get in. We got in at this 93, one tick above this swing high here also, but more importantly than that's one tick above the swing high, it was right above here. If you take a look at this 15-minute chart, it was right above this volume-weighted average price here. So we got in long right in this area here today, and it was just ahead of this volume-weighted average price. We had a small stop, ended up with a 12-tick stop on this. So we had a 12-tick stop, and we ended up getting taken out up here at 83. So our entry was the right spot, and then it was just getting out of our own way a few times to make sure that we could ride it all the way up to the target, which we talked about being 56.47. And then eventually we were looking at this 71, and we said, look, we may come all the way up to market structure extension 2, which was up here at 57.12. And we ultimately did that, right? We ultimately did get up to that 57.12. having said all of that, I did get stopped out on a trail stop up here at 83. So that was really the reasons and the rationale for getting into the trade. We happened to hit it in the right spot. We also had some news coming out of Saudi Arabia that really helped explode this, and it's really our job once the trade starts working, like I said, to get out of our own way and be open to what the logical targets are going to be if the market is going to rally. So after 2 weeks of really fighting this market back and forth, sluggish, slow, choppy type trading conditions, we were actually able to hit a trade today that wiped out all of the past 2 weeks' issues and allowed us to get ahead here in one single trade. So I'm going to let you watch this OTG trade of the day. Again, I have taken this about an hour and a half long trade, chopped it up into pieces, sped it up, put some music behind it so you can watch it. So again, without further ado, here is that OTG trade of the day. There's 94, there's 93, hit but no fill, 93, hit but no fill, 92, and I'm in at 93. 82 is the stop here, 82. 81 actually is the stop, just one tick below the revision mid. All right, the target on this right now, the target is the structure target, the DS target above you at 47, but that's where it is right now. All right, so that trade turned out to be an excellent trade today. 90, what did we say, 91 ticks per contract. Really was the kind of move that we have been waiting several weeks to realize here. So we've just been treading water back and forth, waiting for that opportunity today. And it presented itself when we were able to really maximize the opportunity. So we'll see what happens as we come back in here tomorrow. But as always, I want to say thank you for watching the videos here at the Oil Trading Group. And until next time, I want to wish you good luck and good trading.